Now the Lady Vols basketball program is entering uncharted territory as it begins to search for a new coach. Now, Warlick's departure from the Lady Vols will likely have an impact on current and former Lady Vols. Here to discuss is Jed Blanton, a psychologist. And Jed, thank you. We appreciate you being with us. With this exit of Holly Warlick, what do you see as an impact on the current players?
It has a lot to do with how they interpret their relationship. That's one thing we've learned on our research on coaches' leadership is how the players interpret actions and things. So if there was as much clear communication as possible and a good trust between the coach and the players, I think they can manage well. One issue that we see in this circumstance is players aren't often informed until everybody else is informed, and that sense of lack of power in that decision, and particularly when it impacts them probably more immediately than a lot of other people who are feeling the departure, is something to consider and to take into account.
So what next steps should Tennessee take with the players to make this transition and to make them feel included?
To include them, I think, from sort of an athlete social justice perspective would be to bring them to the table as much as possible. Big sport in the NCAA is a business. We can't forget that, but it depends on these young people who provide the sporting event, the players. So we would encourage athletic administrators to bring athletes into the conversations, to let them be heard, whether that's what they're looking for in a new coach, what they expect, and just how they're feeling, and trying to process those emotions.
Jed, Lady Vols have a huge fan base. Let's talk about the fans now. Yeah. They have to be feeling a whole host of emotions right now. How should they deal with it?
I think it's good to acknowledge them and process them. I think, particularly with the Lady Vols and the basketball program, and Holly's been here for 38 years, we can sort of internalize, and our identity becomes associated with that, and so this loss can affect our identity in a way that other losses might. So we go through sort of a grieving process. So acknowledging that it's beyond your control as the fan, you don't have a lot of power or say in these decisions, and just encouraging the new players and the new team, and inviting them into that special environment. And so sort of a positive, proactive approach to moving on, as well as processing those negative feelings.
I was going to say coaching searches are nothing new in the world of sports, but when it comes to the Lady Vols, this is the first time they will ever have a coaching search for head coach at the University of Tennessee Lady Vols program. Moving forward, any thoughts on that? And you've got a new recruiting class coming in that you want to maintain.
Right. I think again, listening to the players who are going to choose to stay, I think would be really important to make sure they have a voice in this transition, because they, I imagine, are experiencing a sense of loss and maybe a lack of power in whoever made the decisions, if they were a part of those or not. And then remembering the legacy, so bringing in somebody who's going to be really respectful of Pat Summitt and Holly Warlick's traditions and legacy, and be prepared to handle the pressures as well. So looking for recruits that want to be a part of that legacy, and the administration and the coaches around them making sure that they are resilient, and giving them the tools to be resilient with this intense pressure on the storied program.
Yeah. Jed Blanton, thank you for being here and sharing your insight with us. We do appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
Well, hundreds of people are weighing in on the move tonight on social media. Many sharing your thoughts. One is saying, thank you, Holly, for all that you've done for and meant to our beloved university and our state. Godspeed along your new journey. The love from Vol Nation goes with you.
And Kristen just simply says, thank you, Holly. Lucas saying Holly Warlick was the nicest person I ever interviewed as a student. Hope she gets the respect she deserves on her way out and finds a good program to coach again.
Online right now at WBIR.com, we have archive footage of Warlick's career at UT, how fans are reacting now, and more details about her contract. Again, all online at WBIR.com.